Okay, so I'm going to be kind of progressing through what I'm doing to build some cabinets. So this is a Felder C3 Comfort. It's a basically it's a combo machine. You know, I've already been through it: saw, shaper, joiner, planer. So what I went through now is I, basically put my wood through the joiner. You know, we've already ripped it. So the next step is I need to plane it to the thickness I want. So what I'm going to do through this is basically go through and kind of go through and show you, getting this set up and how I did it. It's real basic. Everybody probably knows how to plane, but I thought maybe, some of y'all might like to see it done on this particular machine. I don't see a whole lot of videos on it. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it's set up. So basically, all you do is you got these two handles right here, and that releases the top of the table. Now when you're working with the joiner and the planer side, they do provide this stop button right here. It's not emergency stop, but you can just stop. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and just make sure when I do this, I always take the handle off my blade height. I'm going to lift these up like that. And it's real easy to lift up. As you can see, they put some really nice springs to help you lift this heavy table up. So I'm going to lift it up. And then there's a little thing here that locks it in place. So the next step is to take it from joiner profile to the planer profile. And basically it's real simple. What I did on mine is I also bought this little extension table. I use it on the saw, but it just kind of makes it a little bit easier when you're doing long boards when they're coming out. So anyway, to configure it, all you do is you just lift it up, put it down. It has a micro switch, a safety switch. So if this ever lifts up, it's going to stop the spiral head from turning. I took a couple of pictures too, kind of showing the spiral head. I really like it. I'll show you a little bit, but I used to have, a long time ago, I had the regular knives. I used a planer. I remember a long time ago, one of the first ones I bought, I went through different ones, and I got this Delta one that did really good. But when I had the shop, those planers, it just wasn't doing good. And back then, Grizzly came out with a spiral head, 24-inch planer, so that's what I had there. So, what turned me on about this saw is it had the spiral head, and it was part of the 65th, the anniversary upgrade that came with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get my dust collection ready. I went in and got this. It was kind of expensive, but I got this 90-degree elbow to help me there. Now, my setup, I don't have all the hoses up and everything, because my shop's real small, so this saw is so easy. It's got this handle here, and I can move it, roll it, and I set it sideways when I do boards or whatever. But I went to Rockler, and I got this quick connect fitting right here with this handle, and I also got this vacuum attachment. This is great. I really do like it. So anyway, let's get the dust collector hooked up. If everybody's wondering, I went through a whole iteration. I'll do another video on the dust collector. Yeah, City Bridge has a really cool dust collector now. But anyway, it's a 2 horsepower. I was trying to decide between what horsepower. I almost went with the 3, but the 1.5 is I always found too small. So far, the 2 horsepower, it's done great. And I've got the best FX, and it's a little quieter. So let's get back onto this. So anyway, some of the other features on this is what I did. Now, when you get this from Felder, it doesn't come with this. This is an add-on, an option. I recommend it because if I set it just right, whenever I go back to dimensional lumber or whatever, I set this and it's pretty much right on the money. Use the calipers. Otherwise, it comes just with a normal handle, and you'll have to kind of judge it with this ruler. But anyway, it works great. So I'm just going to, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock this. I'm just going to roll it up a little bit. I figure that's about 1 inch, so I don't want to measure my wood. The other thing on this hammer, this Felder Hammer C3, you know, they're more expensive commercials. They have different speeds and all that on the roller. But when using the joiner, they have this handle here, and what this handle does, it turns the rollers off when you're joining, but when you're planing, you got to release this handle here, let it down, that engages the wheels, okay? So, next thing I'm going to do is be behind you here, but I'm going to grab my calipers. Now, this is just me. I have digital calipers. And, you know, I like this analog. It's real easy to see. I got my inches on the outside. And also, these right on the inside. That's what I do is this is what I use to kind of guide me getting it close right there. So, I'm going to go through. Let's go ahead and get this measured. Find a good spot. Right, so it's already flat. I already got, and I marked it. I already got one good edge on this. Okay. So what I'm going to do now. And this board, it was a wide board. It had pretty bad twists and some deformity too. So. What I'm going to do now is loosen that up. I know it's kind of far away, can't see it, but I think all you guys, if you're doing woodworking with this, you know how to use a caliper. So I'm basically going to just get it on there. And I'm basically coming up at a little over 1 inch. So I'm looking on here. So that's 1 point. Yeah, so that's 1 point, right under 1.1. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go down, up, and let's see. And here's what I do. Here's 1.1. What I do is I give it a half twist. Now, so sometimes when I'm running through here, I might have to push it through. It's not engaging, but I tend to leave it loose when I'm first setting it up. The other thing on this Felder, you can't do it too thick. They have a guard here that won't let you exceed the thickness of a planer, so it's kind of a little that's a safety feature. And also for kickback, in here, you go through the website. I'll take a picture probably of it. But there's these little teeth that keep kickback from happening. Okay. So now I kind of got it set up, and that's it. So next thing to do is do a test run. We're going to start, get it tested up, get it set up, and I'm going to run our lumber through it. Now I have my machine set up, ready to go ahead and start dimensioning wood, running it through the planer. So I kind of got an initial setting set up. I want to take this down 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to start sending and planing some wood through it so you can, see how that process works, okay? It's going to get a little noisy. Alright, that's doing pretty good. did the first pass on the wood, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you in the Felder. Now I'm going to drop it down to run it through on the second pass and start getting it to the dimension I want. So what you do is you unlock this. Now what I do is I just go one turn. I found that if you go more than that, it's a little too much bite. So I go one turn and I run it through until I get it down to the dimension I want. I could probably do it 1.5, but that's pretty much the way I'm set up and I'm doing it. So let me continue on running some more through, and this is pretty much it on planer wood on the Felder. All right, right now I'm pretty close to the thickness I want to be. So I want to be about 64/32 above my 3/4, so I have, when I sand, and that's matches about where all my other stock is that face frames I did before on the cabinets. But so what I'm going to do, so I just measure right here on 13/16. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit off. I set everything to the same, so I'm going to drop this down to right here down to 77. Lock it back down and do the final pass. Now what I do is sometimes on this table, I always treat everything when I'm done. I'll put 2,4 spray on it. I might be trying something else in the future, but what I do, I take Felder cells and Super Gillette so my boards don't stick while they're going through. I just spray a little bit of that in there. That helps a lot. I don't want any marks. I want it as smooth as possible. And when I run the boards through, also I kind of stagger them because my spiral head, I don't want my knives in the center to be used all the time, so I try to get them even. So we finish up these final passes. And then I'll take a picture of a close-up on what it looks like after it goes through the spiral head. Okay, now let me put on my earplugs. I'll be staggering them. Now I'm going to check my thickness. That's exactly where I want to be. Right there. Alright, I'm going to run the rest of them through, and that's pretty much it for plating. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second. So while my dust collector was going off, my little red light up there, it basically tells me when it's full and when I need to empty it. So my light was going off, so I'm going to empty this. And I just wanted to show you something real quick. So with that spiral cutter head, the shavings, let's see if I can get a better look in here. But see how they're just little tiny chips? That's the other advantage of the spiral head in it. The dust collector does a real good job picking it up. So what I'm going to do right now, that's the one pain in the butt about planing wood, is you build up a lot of chunks of wood that you got to empty out. But anyway, I just wanted to show you an example of that. Next thing I'm going to want to do, earlier when I was ripping, I said I made the boards a little wider. So I'm going to run it through the planer to get them to the width I want. So I got 2-inch, 3-inch, and 4-inch. And the 4-inch I'll use later for on my upper cabinets. But anyway, so right now I just measured the wood, and basically I'm at 1 3/16, and I want to get it down to 2 inches. So that's probably around 0.9, and then I'll do a turn off and then start running through till I get the dimensions. So I'm going to loosen this up, and I'm going to lower this down. Let me see, 1.9. Actually, it's 1.8. Yeah, 1.9. There's 1.9. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go turn. I'm sorry, it's 2.9. Sorry. So it's 2.2. I'm misreading my thing, but anyway, it's 2.19 is what it actually is. Alright. I'm at 2.19. Now I'm going to do a whole turn. I'm going to lock this down. Now I'm going to run the boards through on the width. I'll just show an example of this. And, you know, with the forcer blade and all that, I mean, you could do it on the table saw too. You don't have to do this. You could just run through the table saw, you know, but, and, you know, if you want to, I just don't lay the extra on the rips. Like I said, if it was already flat and been through the planer, I'd run it through I probably would have just run it through the table saw, but I left a little extra because of the cups and make up for that. So we'll go ahead and start running these two. Turn on. I jointed, I put it down. Okay, I'm done planing my wood. I vacuumed up, you know, all the wood chips and dust around it. I'm just going to show you how I put it back down. Real quick, I'm going to wipe this table off. Just spray in there. Do a preventive maintenance. Now, usually, you know, when you're not it's just a small shop, hobbyist, you know, you don't run your planer, you don't have to do this all the time, but anyway, I just tend to put a little oil on it. Later on, I'll come back and show you what I do. So I'm just going to put this in place. And then later, I'll come back and the spiral head right here, what I'll do is I'll clean it up. Lock the saw as safety. I'll push my stop in. I'm going to plug it. Anyway, this is the spiral head. It's pretty nice. The good thing about this is so far these edges will last a long time, and when they get dull, all you got to do is flip it on another side. You get 4 sides of cutting. Anyway, all I do, I put that down, is pull this, get these handles, lock them in place, and that's it. And that's all it takes to go from planer to joiner mode. And I already did this tabletop when I was done with it, so next step, I might do some maintenance, get some resin remover and the brush, and then I'll clean up the spiral head. And when I do that, then I'll move to the next step, get my rails cut.